tool, tip tool, whatever we're calling this thing, Tuesday. It was time to change out, or at least clean, the table saw blade, and with the other table saw that's still at the shop, that has the other blade in there that I use, I figured it was time to get another one. And so what we got is a regular kerf combination, where I've been running the thin kerf combination. Now, this thing has gotten dirty, quite dirty. The teeth end up with a lot of pitch and sap and just gunk on them. Oftentimes when your blade starts getting dull, it's not actually dull, it is just dirty. So there's cleaning products to clean it up, but to keep the project going and try something new. I picked up this, as I mentioned, full kerf combination from Freud. This blade needs sharpening. What kind of woodworker am I with a dull tool? So, woohoo, shiny teeth. There we go. 50 tooth, full kerf, 1/8 inch, versus 3/32. So that is nice and beefy. One thing that this blade was doing, with all the pitch buildup, so the pitch actually gets wider than the teeth, and although it will cut, it starts kind of pushing away from the fence. And so I was finding, as I was feeding my material through, it got to the point where it was binding, and as well it was burning, and actually the cut got wider as it went through. So I figured I'd try the full kerf, see if it makes a difference. Pretty sure this saw can handle it, but we're gonna find out. And I'm excited to see how this thing performs. It's gonna be cutting a little bit wider slit in this zero clearance insert. So, putting this bad Larry back on. And while we're talking table saws, I'll show you a little bit more about this setup. This is my portable, obviously, mobile, portable job site table saw setup. And got the DeWalt 10-inch. They don't make this one anymore, but it's my favorite. Full 10-inch blade, but a smaller platform. The newer 10-inch, I believe, is a bigger table, which is great, but not for my small truck. It needs to be smaller to fit in there, because I've got a small truck and a lot of tools, and I don't need that big thing. I'm not ripping down sheet goods. I'm not a framer. This one does great. The new smaller one even looks great, but the smaller blade has me, I like the 10-inch. I built an outfeed table with a broken, rigid, another cement truck. There's a cement plant around the corner, and they're noisy. But this broken, rigid, flip top stand, say that 10 times fast, I use to support the outfeed. This bracket part here, I just notched it basically to fit on the bar. This thing's just notched out, sits on it at the desired height. And then trusty old rigid shop vac. This thing, I don't know how old, but it's old. This thing is an old unit, and I've got it attached with this thing made by Tool Curve, which is a great device. It's actually designed to fit the Festool vacuum to all the DeWalt saws but I've got this other adapter that works for the rigid because the Festool is attached to the Festool. To make this thing work like a Festool vac, I've got this nice auto switch, compliments of Amazon. I think it was like 20-30 bucks, something like that. It's great. It turns the vac on when the tool goes on, and then it runs the vacuum for, I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds after the tool turns off to clear the pipe hose. And yeah, I'm using this floppy stand right now. I'm not a huge fan of it. This thing is it's wobbly, but it fits in the back of the truck great. So it's compact, just not super rigid. I had a box built that this actually fit inside of, which was a nice idea, but the box I had built a little large, but you took the saw out of the box, set it on top, and there was your work platform. It was just a little too big and bulky for the truck, and this system just seems to take up less space. Not as stable, but, you know, trade-offs when you might need a saw, but, well, you know. So I guess we should make some cuts on this thing and figure out if I like the blade or not. I'm also very happy to report that the thick kerf, the full kerf, does not bog down the saw at all. I think if anything it might help out this little guy with the extra momentum. So, we'll see. But before we get back to work, I almost forgot a very important accessory, and this one is one of my new favorites. The bow featherboard. This thing is rad. Instead of using hard plastic like a lot of the other featherboards made for portable saws and router tables, this one has nice replaceable foam. So if it hits the blade by accident, by any chance, it's not going to chip off and come straight back at you. It doesn't mar or scratch your surfaces. This thing is absolutely, I love it. It's incredible. It's very easy to operate, one-handed. So I'll move my fence, I'll hold my material, push this up to it, lock it down with one hand. Easy peasy. So this is definitely a go-to accessory, highly recommended, and they just came out with a new product that I'm pretty excited about. I haven't ordered it yet. I was about to. There's a pricing discrepancy in what they were. Well, never mind that one. You know who you are if you're watching this. But it clamps on. It's a fence. It's a fence extension that is both comes vertical, and you can get a 36-inch version or a 48-inch version. There might be a third one, I can't remember. But it clamps on and extends out. It would be kind of in lieu or in replace of this outfeed table, because as it extends out, it's got these support brackets, both on the in and out feed, that are underneath the fence that clamps on, that are basically just in line with this table. And it gives you a yeah, in-feed or out-feed, or both, depending on how you position it. I'm definitely getting it, because that's just gonna, well, it'll be a game changer. Now it's time to get back to work. Before we get back to work, I almost got a... What? No. Let's try this again. That's, well, Well, all right. Just the tool tip? Just the tip of the tool? All right. Maybe not.